Yo guys, what is up? Moxie here with another Borderlands 3 video, and today we are doing my Moxie's Bar podcast, my weekly podcast that we do every Sunday live on Twitch. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't caught it on Twitch before, unfortunately today we are doing it a little bit later because I got distracted by all the things to do in Borderlands now. There's so much to do. So right now it's 5:16 p.m. So if you tuned into 3, I apologize. Today we got a lot of things to talk about. We're talking about the Mayhem 4, obviously, and the newest patch, as you can see, is on my screen right now. We're talking about the Malawan Takedown, my thoughts on it, and we're going to be talking about a little bit, if we have time, the new DLC that was just announced, Moxie's Heist of the Handsome Jackpot. If we run out of time today, then we'll move that to another time because there isn't as much information to talk about there, and there's a lot to talk about today with patch 4. And so with that, let's get right into it. So there's so much to talk about with this patch, and before I say anything about this patch, I want to preface that, one, this is my initial gut reaction. These are my opinions. I obviously haven't been playing the Malawan Takedown and Mayhem 4 for that long. I haven't experienced everything that there is. I haven't farmed for everything that there is. I haven't seen everything there is. This is just my gut reactions, my opinions on what they're doing, the direction the game is heading in. And also, I understand, before I say some of the things that I do, that I am in a unique position where I have a lot of time to play this game. I'm playing this game right now as a job, so I have a lot of time, and so I understand some of the frustrations that people have. This will be my opinion towards that. But to get right into it, Mayhem 4 is here, 60-day patch is here, bank inspection is here, dedicated loot pools for bosses. Finally, we got additional vending machines. I cannot believe there were so little vending machines, man. That really bothered me. No, but in all seriousness, there's a ton that was added with this patch. We finally got the takedown and our first invincible boss in Borderlands 3, which I know myself and a lot of others were really, really looking forward to and kind of confused on why it wasn't there in the first place. And we got the target dummy. I made a video using the target dummy. I honestly made a whole video. I had the whole thing edited. It's about a 12-minute video of me testing damage. And then while it was rendering and uploading, I went to Sanctuary and I bumped into the target dummy. And I was like, you're kidding me. And then I filmed the whole thing over with the target dummy because I knew if I posted it that everyone's going to be like, yo, Moxie, you know there's a target dummy, right? So thank God we got a target dummy. There's some things that I still kind of confused about the target dummy, like if it takes elemental weakness into effect, or if it's just because you know how fire does bonus elemental damage to flesh, or what kind of health bar it is. But enough on that. Yeah, so if you haven't seen these patch notes, I will be linking them in the description here. There's a lot that happened. Not going to be talking about everything, just going to be highlighting some things for you guys. I really can't get to everything here. But let's talk about the big things first. So, and we're gonna talk about Mayhem 4 and this stuff, and then the Malawan Takedown we'll talk about separately. So, Mayhem 4 is here. Mayhem 4 is challenging, dude. I didn't experience Mayhem 4 before I experienced the takedown. So my first time playing Mayhem 4 was my first time doing the takedown. I experienced them all together, and when I played the takedown, I was like, damn, these are some beefy enemies. And then I left, I beat the takedown, and I went to go do normal stuff, and I was surprised because it wasn't just the takedown where these crazy beefy enemies were. It was everywhere. And with Mayhem 4, we got dedicated loot pools to Mayhem 4. A lot of people have different opinions on this. I'll state mine, but Mayhem 4 is here and it is hard, and the thing that I want to say about Mayhem 4 is, okay, so we no longer have to check modifiers, pretty much. Modifiers are fair. They're harder enemies, and they have more health. But the modifiers are fair for the most part. You don't have to re-roll them. You don't have to check your modifiers every time you go into a new area. It's honestly a breath of fresh air, and I'm so glad that this is the route they're taking. They did say that they're going to do Mayhem 2.0. We don't know what that is yet, but I was really worried that Mayhem 4 was going to have similar modifiers to Mayhem 3. I mean, it does have like similar, but like very toned down modifiers with just boost to health. So that was something I thought might not even get till Mayhem 2.0. So the fact that Mayhem 4 is already in that direction is a great sign. Now, there are some people, as there always will be, that are frustrated with the difficulty of Mayhem 4. They don't like it. They don't like that there is loot hidden, or not hidden, but restricted to Mayhem 4. And I understand that. The whole point of Mayhem 4 is to add more challenge to the game. It's supposed to be difficult, and when I was transitioning from Mayhem 1 to Mayhem 2 to Mayhem 3, when I first got the game, I got my butt whooped on Mayhem 3. I had a build that worked beautifully in Mayhem 1, unkillable elemental phase grasp, and that was I was deathless basically the whole time running that build. I don't think I ever went down. I wasn't even trying not to go down. It was just like that's the way it went. Then I went to Mayhem 3 and I got my butt whooped, and I had to make changes to my build and changes to my gear in order to deal with Mayhem 3. And by the time I was playing Mayhem 3 for a while, I was able to cheese through it. You guys seen my channel. We're doing well on Mayhem 3. Like really no issues on Mayhem 3. We were doing 4-player content on Mayhem 3. Mayhem 4 is that same jump. It's not supposed to be easy at first. You're supposed to struggle with it. You're supposed to need better gear. You're supposed to need better stuff to deal with it. And the people that are jumping into it and saying this is too hard, I think they have the wrong outlook. That's just my opinion. I know that some people didn't have the crazy gear going into Mayhem 4, and now they're even more behind. I understand that mindset. Now, with Mayhem 4, they also added a lot of new legendaries. They added new legendaries. They added new anointments. Now, the new anointments, there's two things that we need to look here at the new anointments. One, they didn't add any more terror anointments. They heard that people don't like terror, that they don't like the screen clutter on it, and they didn't add any new terror anointments. The event is going away, I know, but they could have added new terror anointments. They said in their Borderlands show that they heard that people like didn't like it always being involved, and so we got new anointments that aren't involved with terror, and we got new class mods. If you guys are Mara players, congrats to you. You're doing great. You can go get the most crazy class mod that's ever been in a Borderlands game. I got videos on that. Probably be up there if you need to check that out. The other characters didn't get as much love, which is unfortunate, but I'm obviously biased because I'm a big Amara player. And we got the new anointments that they added are really beneficial. I don't know if you guys have seen, but we now have grenades that are going to give us 50% bonus elemental damage on top of anything that you're already doing. There's new anointments, new shields, new things, all these tools to cope with Mayhem 4 to make it easier for ourselves. And the challenge is going out and getting those things. But it has this whole thing to do with delayed gratification. Now we have dedicated drops, and we're returning to our roots of Borderlands 2 in that you can go out and farm something. I put out that video of how great Amara's new class mod is, and everyone has been saying that they've been farming the crap out of it. Now, I know it's frustrating to farm and not get the item, but it wouldn't be Borderlands if you just went and farmed it and it dropped for you immediately. There isn't that same satisfaction, that same like gratification, that moment when you get it, that makes games like this so awesome. So at least now you can go and farm an enemy for it and get that gear. Eventually, you don't have to be hoping and praying that it's going to show up in an ammo crate or something. There are ways to acquire the gear. You can pick out a build. You can see someone's build on YouTube, and you can go say, I want that piece of gear, that piece of gear, and that piece of gear, and you got to go farm 3 different enemies, and then you'll have it. So that's super cool. The dedicated drops, I haven't farmed all of the new dedicated drops. I haven't gotten all of them yet, which is great. There's things for me to do. There's new things to do, and I'm really happy with the way that things are going. Bank expansion finally. We still have no use for Iridium. I'm hoping that we do get a use for Iridium. I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of broke because I spend all my money respecking every time I get any money. So I'm pretty sure I'm at 160 bank space and kind of stuck. So now I got to go grind for money, which is cool. Looking forward to finally reaching 300 bank space, but we got it. It's here. And yeah, it just adds another layer, and we needed it. Like, it was unacceptable. 50 was unacceptable. 300 is here now. It's really refreshing to actually be able to put guns that I find that I think are interesting but I can't use right away into my bank and not transfer them between a bazillion characters. Thank God. Now we get into some endgame character balance. So highlights here is that Amara wasn't touched. They said that we are currently happy with the variety of Amara's build, but we're always monitoring feedback and will adjust if necessary. Thank God Amara is untouched. I don't think there was any reason to touch her. She is, in my opinion, an ideal Vault Hunter. You should have tons of variety for builds. You should be able to do really cool things if you spec really well. But with Amara, if you don't spec well, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't understand the skill interactions, you are going to get stomped on. It is very easy with Amara to not do well, and it's also very easy to do well. She's not overpowered in that she has one skill that makes her broken, that she can do crazy amounts of damage. She has a lot of different skills that allow her to synergize really well and have a great outcome. So in that case, I think she's great. Flak was a little different at launch. Flak had skills that kind of just made him broken without any gear. Amara's kind of always been gear and class mod dependent. So for that, I think she's doing a great job. Her new class mod is gonna get nerfed. I'm sorry, guys. We just tested it. I'm not gonna bring up the 5 out of 5 mindfulness because I haven't had that drop for me and I don't know. People are telling me it's modded. People are telling me it's not modded. So not gonna touch on that. But with a legit drop, +3 mindfulness, it's 525% increased damage while moving at full speed. That is stupid. Amara's getting all the love, man, and I ain't complaining. I put out a build recently that uses the Merv Tediors. Jolt's put out a video using Merv Tediors. Merv Tediors are also probably going to get a slight balance because right now they're also hitting really, really hard. I think they're the hardest hitting single thing you can do right now in like one action. And yeah, so next we're moving on to the other characters. Now there's so much content that I'm going to be honest with you guys that I haven't gotten the chance to play Zane yet, and I haven't gotten the chance to play Flak. I did get the chance to play Moze. I was honestly very impressed with Iron Bear on Mayhem 4. I made an Iron Bear build just off the top of my head. Not great gear, and I was doing more damage in Iron Bear than I was doing outside of Iron Bear. No claims that I'm the best Moze player, but and I have less of an opinion on this because I don't have as much time in Moe's, but I do think that her Iron Bear changes were needed. She's the only character without an action skill. There is still a ton of adjustments that need to be made to Iron Bear, though. It is in no way in a good state. You shouldn't have to... You should be able to call down Iron Bear without getting into it. You should be able to call down Iron Bear, get Auto Bear, and not have to get into it, hold down the eject button, jump out, benefit from your action skill, all while playing a super fast-paced Borderlands 3 game. That doesn't make any sense to me. You should be able to click it, Iron Bear comes down, it's already in Auto Bear, you could get in if you wanted, and then you get your action skill bonuses. I just like... It's so tedious to get into Iron Bear, but like you need to do it sometimes. You know what I mean? But yeah, something like a hold it down and you'll land in it, tap it, and you'll like someone just said in chat would be really nice for Iron Bear. But it is nice that they're making it viable. I don't know if I'll make an Iron Bear build, but I was doing some good damage in it. Zane got some much needed love. Now, I haven't played on my Zane build since then. Once again, this patch just got released, so these are all of my initial reactions. I think that the changes that they did for him are good. All of these increases are good. I don't know if it fixes some of his core issues that he's having, but he's certainly getting more damage. Now, they also changed the Rough Rider to be a depleted shield. I know a lot of people, seen a lot of big YouTubers use the Rough Rider as a shield on Zane. A lot of people liked that. I didn't like it as much, but that doesn't work for Zane, if I'm correct. The other thing that Zane got was one of the most annoying class mods I've ever seen. He has to slide or jump to get bonus damage. That's not fun gameplay mechanics, and just kind of annoying. So I think that could be better. Off the top of my head, I don't have a suggestion there for what it should be, but I would say he should get a class mod like Amara's that give him bonus damage while he's moving. That makes sense for Zane, but I don't want them to take it away from Amara because I'm having too much damn fun. So find something else for Zane. We'll keep the movement speed damage. And then Flack got pet damage. I don't know too many people that have had success with pet builds. I don't know if these changes really help that much. I did go and try my Brainstormer build, my Seeing Red Flak build, and it didn't work. The Brainstormer wasn't critting. People said that was bugged, and then they fixed it. I didn't get to see the fix yet, I don't believe, but hopefully that is fixed because that was a really cool build with Flak and really cool synergy. So I hope that works out. Lots of stuff here. UI. They improved the UI, but they broke it. I don't know if you guys have tried equipping a class mod or a grenade or a shield or anything, but anything that's not a weapon is currently like totally glitched out. So I hope they fix that. Hopefully, I still haven't played split screen yet. I'm hoping that is better. And then we got some new issue fixes, gameplay. Also, thank God that Mayhem 4, I didn't say this, but the rare spawns on Mayhem 4 are guaranteed now. I don't know if I see that in here, but I'm pretty sure that rare spawns are guaranteed on Mayhem 4. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but I've heard that. They fixed the unlimited damage, like healing. They're not. Are they not? Oh, okay, never mind. I take that back. All right, they're not. They should. It would be nice if they were guaranteed spawns on Mayhem 4. Um, More bug fixes. Bug fixes. I don't know. Did they clean up anything with Zane's shield? I didn't see anything about them cleaning up with Zane's barrier, because that was a big issue I was having with Zane. You guys could let me know. General DX12. I new to PCs. I don't understand that. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on from this, and let's talk about the takedown, because the takedown is a lot. So there's a lot to talk about the takedown. They tried to fix the screen clutter. Okay, that's good. I haven't played Zing yet. Since this, there's been so much stuff to do. So the takedown was awesome. Really cool event. The way they went about launching it and releasing it, I think a bad job, bad Gearbox. The fact that there was so many players so excited for this, and they didn't give us a window or a time frame until like crazy late in the day. There was still like a crazy time frame, and like everyone was looking for it. And then in the Borderlands show, they were talking about the new DLC that was coming out December 19th, but we're also talking about the DLC that was coming out tomorrow. That was just getting everyone confused. I think that was really poor, and gave me a lot of anxiety. I don't know about you guys. I wanted to do the takedown as soon as possible, and the fact that there was just radio silence from Gearbox on like the whole thing was really weird. And then the download for it was like super buggy. I don't know if you guys had this problem, but my download was like 40 gigabytes, and then everyone was telling me that I was downloading the version for the Mac because they put the Mac version on, and I wanted to play not on the Mac because I ain't on a Mac, and then they fixed it. I don't know what happened there, but we got the takedown, and it's here now. It's here to stay. It's going to be in Borderlands for forever, and it's great. I think it's really good. I think that they did an amazing job with it. It's challenging. There's a lot of enemies. The mechanic to go back all the way to the beginning if you die is punishing and difficult and frustrating, but good for an activity that's this hard. The Valkyrie fight was cool, and the Wotan fight was cool. I liked that there wasn't hard like immune phases where there was like animations basically stopping you. Like the Valkyrie fight felt structured, where I could do my damage to the boss, manage ads, do my damage to the boss, manage ads, do damage to all three bosses. My first death ever running through the takedown was falling off the edge. I went right off the edge, didn't realize that I could fall off the edge, and that was frustrating because I got super confused on why I died. I don't know if that happened to anyone else, but good grief, man, that was confusing. Now I'm like super paranoid during that fight to not fall off the edge. Dude, that ruined my original deathless run. So maybe they'll fix that, maybe they won't, I don't know. It probably doesn't need fixing, but my first time falling off the edge, I was actually stunned. And then they got the next part, and then you get to Wotan. It's funny that so my Viper Amara build was the build that I prepared for this. I ended up changing it last minute just because there wasn't really any need for corrosive damage besides the bosses. The bosses are the really only need for corrosive damage. So the super emphasis on corrosive wasn't there, which I'm fine with. You still need to do a lot of corrosive damage to do damage to the enemies, but I did end up updating that build. We're going to post that tomorrow, hopefully. And then the Wotan fight. The Wotan fight, dude, is crazy. It is so stressful and so difficult. but so awesome when you beat it. The way the fight feels like it's like there's those moments in the fight, like I think like my first time playing it, it's like, oh, like I'm almost there, like I like doing well, and then it gets harder, and like then the boss splits, and then you kill like the bottom part, and there's still the top part, and the whole thing, in my opinion, was great. I thought that the invincible boss was good. I haven't tried it that much on any other character, so I don't know how well the other characters are doing. I have seen people complete it on Flak. I have seen people complete it on Moze. Moze was the TDR build by Jolts. I don't know if I've seen someone complete it on Zane. I've heard someone's played it on Zane, but I actually haven't seen like the video. And yeah, the downside to the takedown is you beat Wotan, the legendaries drop. You finally get your reward. You've been grinding and practicing and dying and going back, and you finally beat Wotan to get some of the most powerful shields in the game. You put that shield on and then it's crap. I don't have all of the gear yet. But the things that I've gotten from the beating Wotan so far have not impressed me. I hope that they're to be more specific. I'm talking about the amount of gear that's dropped, the anointments that's on the gear, and then specifically the Wotan specific loot. Looking at you version O.M. I'll be putting a video out on that shield to explain to anyone how it works. Not going to go into that right now because it's a video. But yeah, they were hyping up these shields, man, and then they just, in my opinion, they fell flat. If there's something I'm missing, I have done a lot of testing with the some of the new shields. So yeah, and there's the snowshoe as well. I'm pretty sure there's the snowshoe, the version O.M, and the Nova or Recharger Nova Burner. I think I don't have the Recharger Nova Burner, but I don't really know where the best shields in the game was coming from. Maybe they'll buff those items. And yeah, I haven't tried doing matchmaking for the takedown either. I've heard matchmaking is pretty toxic with people leaving as soon as they die. That's not really Gearbox's fault, but it is annoying. It would be nice if there was... I don't really know if there is. I remember when I played Destiny a lot, there was like LFG websites. I hope there's something like that for Borderlands. I haven't looked into that too much yet. But yeah, overall, the takedown is awesome. I think that they're headed in a good direction, and I'm looking forward to more takedowns. If like we get like a 3-phase one, this one I would consider like 2-phase, like first boss, second boss. That would be awesome. Yeah, all in all, I think they did a good job with it. I really don't have much complaints besides the payoff of beating it, and the gear that was rewarded. There is some bugs that are happening in the takedown, some glitches, but I'm sure those will get ironed out real soon. So that's nice. Let's hear it. And we do have time, so we're gonna talk about the Moxie Heights real quick, and then we'll go into questions from you guys in the chat. So Borderlands showed that the new DLC is coming out. They were talking about the new DLC and the takedown on the same show. I think those should have been spaced out, to be honest. Kind of like killed the hype for the takedown that was coming out the next day, because they were talking about the thing that was coming out in a month. That didn't make sense for me, the planning of that. But the show was cool. I'll have a link to both of these articles that I've been clicking on in the description. But we got our first story DLC. We got a first glimpse of it. We got gameplay. We saw some of the new characters they're adding. We got glimpses at new weapons, new class mods, and it's awesome. And Timothy is returning. Like, it looks awesome. I'm really excited for it. There isn't like a super amount to say because we really don't know that much about it. Handsome Jack or Timothy is returning. That's awesome. Everyone's favorite Borderlands villain is Handsome Jack. I think I can fairly reasonably say that without like excluding too many people. Obviously, it's not Jack, it's Timothy, and we'll see what they do with that and how that whole pans out. We've got Moxie is a main part of this DLC, which is going to make it really confusing for me and my viewers. So I probably should have picked. I picked the name Moxie when I was like 13, making trick-shotting videos, and I had never. I hadn't played Borderlands yet when I made the name, but yeah, it's been my name for a really long time on like the online. But we are getting new class mods. If there's any sign, I think the biggest takeaway with what's going on with this new DLC, we got loaded bots, which is awesome. Hell yeah. Is that we got so much new gear, guns, class mods, anointments on a free 60-day update that I think that hopefully, because I don't know why they wouldn't continue this trend, but that we're going to get the same quality of update to the game with this. Obviously, we're getting more story, but we're getting new guns, gear, cosmetics, hopefully new anointments. I don't think they touched if like a new rarity is coming out yet. I'd be pretty hyped for a new rarity because usually in the DLCs we'd see new rarities like Pearl Essence or Seraph guns. Something like that would be super cool. That could play into really well with like the slot machines of like getting currency to buy those weapons. I don't think they confirmed anything like that, but I do think that the biggest takeaway is the free content that we've gotten so far in this game has honestly been great. We're getting our first content update. December 19th is when this comes out, and if the trend continues, this is going to be great. And I hope that the players that came back or were refreshed by this update, I hope that this update carries those players into this heist and that it's going to be awesome. There's not a level cap with this, is there? Is there a level cap with this DLC? Nah, okay, that's what I thought. Which is good, because that's, like, it wouldn't make sense for this to be a level cap after farming Takedown for a month, like, working our butt off. So I don't think we need a level cap quite yet, because we just got new weapons, new gear, new anointments, new content. So, yeah, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. I'll be taking any questions from the chat. If you guys want to type your questions now, just at me. I'm going to be looking at the Discord questions first. If you aren't a member of Discord, it's like you could just join and send me questions, send me DMs, talk to me directly. It's a great place for trading, hanging out, all that stuff. Let's pop into this. Jail Anime says, is it better to farm for specific weapon drops on Mayhem 0 or Mayhem 4? It feels like I don't get any boss weapon drops on Mayhem 4, just more world drops. So yeah, world drops are definitely still in Mayhem 4. Now, I can't say that I've seen I feel like there is, I don't know if it's placebo or not, but it does feel like I'm getting better world drop legendaries on Mayhem 4, but I don't know. Still, I don't know if there actually is like an increase. I think there is, but still getting world drops, which is fine. World drops are a big part of this game. There is now a chance for those dedicated drops, which if there weren't world drops with attached to bosses and dedicated enemies, that would be also frustrating, because then you would just get nothing, 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 and then your dedicated drop. You can still get cool gear while farming something else and get something unexpected that you weren't looking for and that you could add to your build or add to your inventory. That's awesome. But then eventually you will get your dedicated drop. So I am happy that there are world drops. I would say in general, a lot of people have been asking me this, like, is this a Mayhem 4 exclusive loot drop? If you can, guys, I know that it takes longer to kill enemies on Mayhem 4, but if you can, you really should be farming in Mayhem 4. It'll push your character a step above. You'll get the new gear, the new loot, the best stuff for yourself. So if you haven't made the transition to Mayhem 4, I really suggest you try it. Give it your best go. If you need any help with something, once again, like, Discord's a great place to be. You can ask me questions, send me messages, and I can try to help you out with that. Let's get some other questions. Moxie, do you think Flak's the best for solo play? From Disaugment. So, Disaugment, take this question as, like, if you're playing a character solo through the campaign, which character would be the best character to take through the campaign? Now, a lot of people's reasoning when the game came out, and I heard a lot of people say this, is, oh, I'm going to use Flak as my solo character. I'm going to play Flak solo because he's got the pet. And then, like, Zane or Moaz or Amara is going to be my character I play with my friends. Now, Flak is a cool character, and his, like, theme around him of him being like a, like, bounty hunter stalker, like, with his pet, he's, like, in for the kill, like, that whole thing, like, really fits with the theme of, like, playing solo, and it's cool to have a pet. But in terms of, like, being the best character to solo through the campaign with, I'm gonna say no. Just because I don't think he is. I think that in this game, skills that can keep you alive and keep you moving and give you a lot of damage and utility are nicer to have than just raw damage. For that reason, I still think that Amara is the best character to level through and play solo, because you get Samsara at level... It's the second skill on the green tree, and makes you unkillable. So, in terms of loneliness, Flak's probably the best character not to be lonely playing through the campaign. But in terms of, like, soloing it, viability, I would recommend Amara still. Dark Secrum says, since you mentioned tried out Iron Bear bit, did you try out the different weapons she has, and which one did you personally like more, and why? I didn't try out every single weapon, but the one that I liked the most, let's see if I can pull it up. I really liked using the minigun with these exploding bullets. Minigun fires explosive rounds that deal increased splash damage, but its fire rate is decreased. This synergizing with all the skills that Moze not only benefits from, but now Iron Bear benefits from. There's a lot of cool things that I was doing with, and I was absolutely ripping through things with these exploding bullets on dual miniguns. So, of the things I tried, that was my favorite. The new class mod for Amara drops from Celestro and Atomic. Do you think anointments on drops should be almost guaranteed on Mayhem 4? That's a good question. So sorry, I'm a potato. Says Moxie, do you think anointments on drop should be almost guaranteed on Mayhem 4? So at this point in the game, we have a lot of anointments. There's a lot of good anointments. There's a lot of bad anointments. From what I can tell, it seems like I get less anointments for the other characters while I'm playing my character. Like I get more Amara anointments while I'm playing Amara than I get like Zane anointments. The thing is, I'm also at a different position than I could say most people are because I have a ton of time into this game, but I don't pick up on anointed weapons anymore, pretty much, period. I know that is a not a position everyone is in, but yeah, like I've played this game so much that I basically have all the weapons and used all the weapons that I only care about the weapons if they're anointed, and especially in Mayhem 4, you're not going to have a great time using unanointed weapons in Mayhem 4. They're basically an essential part to being able to survive and do damage. So I do think it would be really nice if they guaranteed anointments on Mayhem 4. That would make a lot of people's lives easier, but I would be worried that the ramp up till full gearing when you had anointments on every drop could be too fast, especially with builds like the ones I just put out, Sonic Boom, that you can kill Grave Ward in like a second. You could probably blow up your inventory with really good gear really quickly. Moxie, what are your thoughts on the overall class mod structure in Borderlands 3 compared to Borderlands 2? How many extra perks, passive buffs, etc.? That's a great question. I am Goggle. Wants to know my thoughts on the overall class mod structure in Borderlands 3 compared to Borderlands 2. Now, for those of you that didn't play Borderlands 2, Borderlands 2's class mods had pretty locked points into different things. Different class mods had different, like you had like legendary, like Slayer class mods that had buffs to all the very beginning things. You had specific class mods that had specific bonuses to different guns or playstyles with specific bonuses into points every time with specific set buffs on guns. Like what comes to mind right now is the legendary cat class mod, giving us like SMG damage, cooldown rate, buffs to like projectile speed, all that stuff. I really like Borderlands 3 class mod structure. I like that I can pick up a Phase Zerker class mod and it could be different every time, and I could get a Phase Zerker class mod and do a shotgun build with it, or I could get a Phase Zerker class mod and do a Jacob's pistol build with it. That is really cool and adds a lot of diversity into builds. The +5 class mods seem to be this like crazy elusive thing that's in the game but is like stupid hard to find. So I think that they should either not have those be a thing or have them be a thing with like a more normal drop rate, so that, I mean, it is cool that they're this crazy thing, but they're like almost like an unobtainable entity for a lot of people. So if they're going to be in the game, I think that they should be more available, I guess, as like the chance of rolling this perks and this perks. That's just a personal opinion. The only thing that I don't like about these class mods, the way that they've done in Borderlands 2 versus 3, is it just feels like they didn't put as much thought into the Borderlands 3 class mods. The Borderlands 2 class mods really dictated like a play style, and whatever class mod you had really changed up the way you would play the game. In Borderlands 2 or Borderlands 3, it doesn't feel that your class mod has that crazy of an impact on your play style, and some of the class mods just feel like they just like threw some stuff at a piece of paper and said this is a class mod. So yeah, I wish that the class mods were a little bit more impactful, but I do like the random rolls on them. The Nimbus class mod was a really cool discovery on Amara, that you can make it a absolute boss killer where it seemed worthless. But like things like her Elementalist and her Dragon class mod seem like they were just kind of ideas that no one decided to see if they should be good or not. Let's see if what else do we have? Joker says, what type of event would you like for co-op after this takedown event? I mean, takedowns are awesome. I think I'm looking forward to more takedowns. If they wanted to do like a penultimate, like this is the craziest thing we've done, they like release 3 takedowns and then do like a like ultra takedown or something where it's like even harder, like almost impossible to solo. Like something like that could be like crazy. That could be a cool co-op event. But yeah, I don't think that should be like forced like mechanics that you have to play co-op. Like I don't think anything should be forced to play co-op. But if they keep increasing the difficulty, then yeah, that would be cool and force more co-op play. And I think if they're gonna do co-op, that they need to, if they want co-op, that they should look into their matchmaking systems and actually like optimize them and make like a server or something on the Borderlands game where you could like post what you're doing, like integrated support for a co-op where you could say like, oh, like looking for an Amara player level 50 who does this. Obviously that can lead to some like toxicity, but like something that's actually like useful, like, oh, I don't want to be on a team of 4 Zanes, like looking for an Amara player, or like we're running this or farming this, something that could like really help people find groups would be nice as an integrated part to Borderlands. Let's see, do we got any other questions? What is the best Borderlands boss? The best Borderlands boss. This is coming from Happy Meal. This will be our last question that we take for the podcast. The best Borderlands boss. Wotan is pretty great. I don't know, like best means so many things. Like for me, like Terramorphous is like nostalgic, and I loved my first time like trying the Terramorphous fight and doing that. Like that'll always be like a great memory. There's some really hard Borderlands 2 invincible enemies. The Borderlands 2 invincible enemy that they released with the very last expansion, I forget what it was called, but the big like lizard thing was a really cool enemy and a really awesome fight. That was really good. I'm forgetting the name of it. It was like a big serpent thing, basically, that had like a spot on its back. That was a really cool fight. I don't think Wotan is Hatterax. Yeah, Hatterax is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Hatterax was a great fight. I don't think Wotan is the most interesting boss that we've gotten to fight against, but I would say that Wotan is the most hectic and chaotic and like crazy boss to fight against because there's just so much going on. So in terms of like craziness during the fight, I would say that Wotan takes that. Yeah. All right. That was the podcast. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This podcast is every Sunday. We record it live on Twitch and then post it to YouTube the next day. So this will be on YouTube tomorrow. If you guys are in here right now and you're in the Twitch stream watching me live right now, I'm not ending the stream here. We're going to be continuing to stream, play Borderlands, do some testing and stuff. Just saying goodbye to the podcast. But thank you so much for tuning in. If you appreciate the podcast, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace!